You see, when you ignore the law and decide to gamble with your future, and then you also chose to believe the laws of the previous administration, this is how it ends. Check-ins turn into checkouts, pepper spray flies in the streets, California's so-called safe zones crumble, and ICE, yeah, they back. They ain't apologizing for nothing, y'all. Let's get it.
Yanet Correa screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami. The detentions are not only creating panic and fear, but Correa's immigration attorney tells NBC6 it's also creating confusion. Immigration court attorney Antonio Ramos tells us this is now the new normal. As the detention of immigrants with what's known as the I-220A form continues, Ramos explained what's been happening inside the court.
People get in front of the judge. The DHS offered dismissal of the case, and I have to make a parenthesis because dismissal of the case in the previous administration, people saw it as a good thing because they're not going to be arrested. So a lot of people accept the dismissal. When they accept the dismissal, they withdraw the application in front of the judge. The case is closed in front of the judge. They are literally in a legal limbo, and they can be detained.
Julissa Hernandez panicked when she saw that her husband's check-in took longer than expected. Her husband was eventually released, but now she's worried about what will happen to her when she shows up for her own immigration check-in next week.
This ain't random. It's shocking to some, but to a lot it's not shocking. This is not injustice. This is what happens when you spend years of ducking accountability. You show up to a check-in thinking ain't nothing going to happen, especially under the current administration. Come on now. Because you spent the last, 4 years believing that the previous administration had your back. But they set you up. Yes, they did. They made you comfortable in a situation that was never legal. And now you're dealing with the reality and you ignore it. You put your own family in this situation. Not Trump, not ICE, but you. I want y'all to take a look at what's happening in Detroit. It's very chaotic. I had to actually skip.
Oh, shit. Let me get out the way.
Get out the way, Dad.
You got it? You did it?
You don't get any, Dad. Right.
Yeah, very chaotic. I had to stop that, y'all see? But you see it. They were out there trying to block federal law enforcement. But like ICE gonna back down. Because your feelings hurt though, right? Pepper spray hit the air. And you seen them scatter. I'm telling y'all, activism doesn't override immigration law. That's just not gonna happen. TikTok's just not gonna cancel the consequences. The free ride is over. And matter of fact, if you thought it was crazy just in Detroit, wait until you see what's going down in California. We already seen Miami. We looking at Detroit.
I am in a Home Depot parking lot. The neighborhood got an alert that ICE showed up here. We have people guarding the parking lot, but they showed up anyway, and they abducted 3 people that I'm aware of. We have about 20 people here right now from the neighborhood who have shown up. We're watching the vendors' stuff. There was a couple cooks and somebody who was selling clothes. So we're watching over their things, trying to make a plan to figure out how we can help. This is how we spend our weeks now. This is how we spend every day. Literally just like driving around, trying to show up and help people. This is LA. I am in a Home Depot.
LA Home Depot raids. We got this liberal meltdown. Look at this. Meltdown in real time. They abducted 3 people, she says. No, that's called an arrest. That's called accountability. And this ain't new. They knew the risk. Y'all let this previous administration gas y'all up. with all that fake sanctuary talk. Well, Trump is in office. Tom Homan is beside him, and sanctuary just got evicted. And yo, if you think it ends in this parking lot, nope. Check this out. What do I always say? It gets worse.
They snatched her. She gone.
Witnesses say they took a woman who had been here in this parking lot under the freeway selling tacos.
They got the lady who sells tacos down here at under the bridge. They got her too.
Diamond Cruz says the agents who arrived in several vans grabbed some of the people she'd been sitting with.
They just rolled up and they snuck up behind them, chased them, and just grabbed whoever they can. They grabbed two of my friends that were sitting right here.
So insane to me.
Chloe says she rushed down here to the Home Depot to try and help as many people as she could or protest when she heard about the raid.
I've been volunteering to help bring food to people. I've been trying to just respond if there is something nearby the community. It feels wrong not to be there because it could happen to anybody.
One man says he saw some of these workers run into this job center set up here in the Home Depot parking lot to use it as a safe haven as they were being chased by the federal agents.
They came through the homeless camp right around the corner from the Home Depot.
Witnesses say they took people from this nearby homeless encampment and detained a man who had been sitting in this chair near the store protesting ICE. In a statement, Home Depot said, "We aren't notified that ICE activities are going to happen, and in many cases, we don't know that arrests have taken place until after they're over. We're required to follow all federal and local rules and regulations in every market where we operate. But these sudden enforcement actions are leaving entire communities on edge."
They're just coming in here snatching people for no reason.
No reason. See, here's what the media won't say. ICE ain't snatching taco vendors. ICE is snatching illegal immigrants. You don't get immunity because you're nice. You don't get a pass because you sell tacos. This is the cost of choosing to ignore the law for years. I don't care which way you want to try to slice this. And the wild part, y'all risk y'all own stability. Like, you chose this. And believe me when I say, hey, not just outside the stores, okay? They're at the front doors, too. Watch this. Sound like somebody making a call. Oh, yeah. This house calls now. ICE is knocking on the door, heavy presence, boots on the ground, stacked up. You thought the front door was going to protect you?
City police are working with.
Nope. Sorry, but it doesn't protect you. It doesn't protect you, sir. And the previous administration told y'all, don't worry, you're safe. Well, guess what? You wasn't. And speaking of people who are fed up with this nonsense, you got to see what went down inside the Border Patrol itself under the previous administration, y'all. Watch this leaked footage.
Stay focused. We continue to do the job and the mission that we signed up for. Right? We all signed up for it. We all raised our hand.
It's kind of hard to say that. To defend the Constitution, not the
It's not hard to say it. It may be hard for you to say it, but I've been doing this for 31 years. It's not hard for me to say it. Every day I wake up and I'm committed to this organization and I'm committed to each one of y'all.
We say the same thing, but it seems like a policy's not.
Then you keep releasing criminal aliens in the country.
You're getting bogged down in the policies and the politics.
You can't even say illegal alien.
What's that?
We can't even say that.
That's why Chief Scott left.
You just said it.
You can't
Is
say
anything going to happen to you? You just said it.
The whole generation. Whole generation.
Why are you guys getting caught up in semantics? Right?
What?
There's a mission out there to be. There's a mission out there to be had, guys. We can sit here and argue about it till we're blue in the face. Right? I've been doing this job as long as y'all.
That's the problem.
What's that?
That's the problem, Chief.
For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
I can't hear you.
For evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. That's exactly what's happening here. Good men are doing nothing. You're allowing illegal aliens to be dropped off in communities.
You are doing something.
No, sir, we're not.
You are.
No,
You're rescuing people every day. You're taking fentanyl off the streets every day. You're taking methamphetamine
Yes, and under this
criminal
administration
aliens
for the
off the
last
streets
year, we
every
got the
day.
highest fentanyl death in the history of our country. In 1 year, in this country.
You know, we've made more fentanyl seizures already this year than we made last year.
How many have we not catch because we're focusing on expanding? And that's the problem.
And we're working on it.
Where's the results? We don't have results.
And this right here is why everything looks the way it does right now. Even the ICE agents were fed up. Look how they were talking to their own chief. Begging just to do their job. Think about that. Let that sink in, man. The Biden and Kamala era. We actually survived that. And the agents, obviously, their hands were tied in the situation. Now those same agents got the green light. And ICE is off the leash, man. They get to actually do their job now. But don't let the media, can't even say it. Don't let the media fool you into feeling bad just yet. Look at the fake sympathy they just tried to sell next.
Well, some laughing there, but critics argue there's nothing funny about keeping people in what they say are hellish conditions, especially in a state where, as the Miami Herald reports, 5 people have died in ICE custody since January. The latest, a 75-year-old Cuban man who came to the United States nearly 6 decades ago, but died after 3 weeks in detention. That death now under investigation. Tim Miller is back with us. When you hear those remarks from the president and Governor DeSantis, is the threat of cruelty the point here, a deterrent?
I think so. The whole thing is extremely dehumanizing. Trump and DHS have, and Ron DeSantis, frankly, have treated immigrants and migrants in a dehumanizing way, and I think that they definitely want to scare people that are in the country and don't have formal legal status. They want people to self-deport, and they've said that. Kristi Noem is running ads encouraging people to self-deport. But like these stories, you're talking about people that are not hardened criminals. And on the one hand, like with the recent exception in New Orleans, hardened criminals don't get out of prisons. Like you don't need a scary, action movie alligator prison. That's not an issue. What we're talking here is about detaining people, and they've been detaining a lot of people who are not violent criminals. They are detaining people that have allegedly committed immigration infractions. And this Cuban man that you mentioned, like the idea that somebody that's been here for 60 years, needs to be held in a cell. Like for what? Like what do you? There's no security rationale for that. You're not worried about risk of flight. You want these people to self-deport. So like the only reason to do it is what you're saying, to try to intimidate, to try to encourage others to deport, and it's a really un-American policy that these guys are instituting.
What it has, though, Tim, been big plus for the MAGA base. I mean, the Florida.
Gunther asked, Tim was encouraging an invasion that happened over the last 4 years. Now, let me be clear. I don't celebrate death. Not in this capacity. I never will. And look, I'm not naive. Foul play ain't never off the table with the government, and I know that. But let's talk facts. This man was in the U.S. illegally for 60 years. 6-0. That ain't an accident. That ain't just fall through the cracks. That's a choice. A lifestyle, rather. And now MSNBS want to crown TV about ICE and paint them like the villain. ICE didn't put him in this position. He did. But hold on. The media conveniently left this part out. Watch this insanity. Okay, now I had it queued up, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna hit the refresh button real quick. I don't know why I decided to delay, but I need it to play. I don't know what's going on with the clip. Oh my gosh, y'all, let me pause this. Wow, that was weird. Not only did it mess up my transition, but for whatever reason, I had to go to 3 different pages to get this to actually play. Here we go, y'all. It did it again? Seriously? No. This can't happen.
Border Patrol officers for what they do every day. They are out on the streets, and violence against them has increased over 500% since Trump has gone back into the White House, because he's upholding the law and because a bunch of liberals, socialists, and Marxists are out there lying about what President Trump is doing. President Trump is upholding freedom by what he is doing. The freedom to live safely in this country and to do things legally and to have justice. And because those liberals, and I'm calling out you, CNN, I'm calling you out because you lie every single day about what these operations are. We are going after murderers and rapists and traffickers and drug dealers and getting them off the streets and getting them out of this country because Joe Biden let the worst of the worst come in here. The other day I was talking to some marshals that have been partnering with ICE. They said that they had detained a cannibal and put him on a plane to take him home. And while they had him in his seat, he started to eat himself. And they had to get him off and get him medical attention. These are the kind of deranged individuals that are on our streets in America that we're trying to target and get out of our country because they are so deranged they don't belong here. And they shouldn't be walking the streets with our children. And they shouldn't be living in the community.
Bruh. A cannibal eating himself on the plane. When I say you cannot make this up, this is what the previous administration's border policies let walk into this country. And y'all protesting ICE? I'm just saying, be mad at the previous administration and the system that they had in place that let this dude in at all. ICE ain't the villain here. ICE is the cleanup crew. Yeah. And speaking of people who refuse to play victim, watch how this Latino MAGA, watch how this dude shuts it down.
This is for the Latinos for Trump and the Latinos for Trump only, okay?
Okay, I'm here.
How does it feel that your president is trying to birth citizenship rights? Because you know damn well that is the whole reason you are a fucking citizen right now, an American.
Nope.
Okay, it's the reason you were able to apply for financial aid.
Nope again.
It's the reason you're able to get public schooling.
Nope for a third time.
It's the reason that you were able to fucking vote.
For the 4th time, nope.
I'm genuinely curious, like, what the thoughts are on this.
Okay, look. I don't know what makes you guys think that every single Latino American that lives in the United States of America is an anchor baby, is here illegally, or their parents came here illegally and they do not have American citizenship. My family has been here for 4 generations. They migrated here legally, meaning I do not have birthright citizenship. My family came here legally, and when I was born an American citizen, okay?
Exactly. Not every Latino plays victim. Not every Latino's illegal. This right here destroys the left's narrative. Legal immigrants who follow the rules? They couldn't fathom that. And they actually love the country. These are people who love the country, who ain't begging for no type of shortcuts. And no, the left hates that. We know that. And when they can't use you, you know, this is how they talk to you.
Latinos, you can scream MAGA all you want, vote red, only speak English, even call ICE yourself, but you will never be the exception. You will never be white, and it's not going to stop you from getting racially profiled. Who said that? Who said that?
Yep. This is the real face of the left. As soon as minorities think for themselves, this is what they hit you with. You wanna be white. They're never gonna accept you. Nah, man. I don't think man, ain't trying to be white. I think he's trying to be right. Trying to be free. And this is why they hate conservatives. They hate conservative minorities more than anybody else. We ruined their entire scam, y'all. And oh yeah, we standing on it. For sure. And speaking of standing on it, let me show y'all what Law and Order looks like. What it actually looks like.
You can't be here. You can't be here. You gotta get out of here, dude. You can't be here. You can't be here. No diga nada. No diga nada. What's your badge number? What's your badge number? Can I get identifications, badge numbers? Hey, my brother. Badge is right there, brother. Le llamo ahorita. My brother. Okay. Oh, okay. Can I get names and badge numbers? There you go.
Hey, what's your ride license?
End of story. This is what law enforcement looks like. This is what accountability looks like. You don't get to... Look, you ain't got to like it, but you will respect it. The border is back, the law is back, and the free ride is done. And if that bothers you, man, simple, get legal. But get gone. Point blank, period. Just how this works. And let me say this again. I want to be very, very clear this time. This is not about hate. This is about accountability, okay? This is about law and order. This is not about cruelty. Now, if the law offends you, that's not a nice problem. That's definitely a you problem, okay? But here in the kingdom, I'm standing with ICE right now. I stand with the law. I stand with truth above all. Y'all hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all share this if you enjoyed the video. Also, go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.